Welcome to Cornwall and the heady delights of the British summer. Now, most people would come to Cornwall in June for the weather and the vistas. Luckily, I haven't, because I've come to Cornwall for two reasons. One, to see my best mate Sammy, and two, to eulogise about flat tanker motorcycles, of which those are two of them, Sammy. Flat tankers are very simply vintage motorbikes where the petrol tank is slung underneath the frame, not wrapped around the top tube. OK, now look, right, to me, flat tankers have always been a worry. I've always thought they only do 1 mile an hour, you can't change gear on them, everything's all round the wrong way and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to show you today, hopefully, and myself, that you can have a huge amount of fun at about 20 miles an hour. So first, let's get these two beauties off the truck, a Triumph Roadster and an AJS Big Port, two of the early British brands which made their names producing flat tankers. So now look, tell me the date of this.
1911.
1911, my God, that's, well, it's about 104, 105 years old.
105-year-old bike, yeah.
Now, as far as the development of motorcycle went, I mean, how far was this down the line?
Not very.
No, it doesn't look it. The first commercially produced motorbikes appeared in the late 1890s, and even 10 years later, bikes like this Triumph were little more than bicycles with a petrol engine attached. What's that? Brake?
That's a sort of a front brake.
That's not a brake.
You know what?
What's that? It's a bicycle brake.
It's quite useful for getting it in and out the pickup.
And as for the belt on the front fork, what's it for? To keep your trousers up?
The belt is actually to stop it shaking hideously, so it's sort of a crude damper.
Crude damper? Oh my God, I haven't seen anything cruder than that damper, I have to say.
Yes.
The other bike, my mount for today, is from that equally historic and equally venerable brand AJS, named after its founder Albert John Stevens, a Wolverhampton boy who started the company back in 1910.
Yeah.
How old is that one?
1927.
OK, so there's been a huge progression, obviously, from
Massive.
1911 to 1927. This is one of the last AJS flat tankers, and by this time you had something much more like the modern-day motorcycle. This, I can see, has an awful lot more levers on it and things that perhaps look like they might work better that I could ride.
Yeah, this is overhead valve.
Right.
It's got a gearbox, it's got a clutch, it's got a kickstart. It's got almost automatic oiling. Once you're going along, you don't have to keep pumping the oil, whereas on that one, it's totally manual delivery. So this really was, you know, the sign of things to come, really. Absolutely. But what's the AJS like to ride? Should we give it a go, then? Yeah, let's try.
Come on, we'll go for a little pootle and see whether we like it or not. I'll be on the AJS, you'll be on that nightmare situation. Mm-hmm. OK. Hey, look, here goes nothing. Come on, Sammy. All I can say is thank God I'm on the AJS, whereas my bike has a kickstart. You need to pedal like crazy to get Sammy's Triumph going. Hey, we're off! And once you do get it going, it doesn't get any easier. This really is bare bones motorcycling. No suspension, no brakes to speak of, and no easy way to get it going if it stalls. But so what? You couldn't ride one in the city, but out here in the countryside, it's perfect. If you can master one of these, you're king of the road. Later on, we're going to meet a group of flat tank aficionados with several more fabulous bikes. I'm down in Cornwall with my best mate Sam Lovegrove, discovering the joys of flat tank motorbikes and trying to outrace the mist and rains of a British summer. We've been riding a vintage AJS and a Triumph, but next we're going to meet Andrew and Roger and some of their friends from the Cornish section of the Vintage Motorcycle Club. Hey, well, welcome back. Now, Sammy and I have been having a ball on our flat tankers, but don't just take our words for it. We've got a few kindred spirits here in the pouring rain to tell us about their particular motorcycles as well. Now, Andrew, let's just start off with this gorgeous Norton flat tanker. Tell me about that and tell me why you love it.
Because it's very rideable. The gearing's high and the brakes are very adequate for the age of it. Quite surprising for a bike of its age, like, you know.
What sort of speed it'll do? What do you reckon?
Well, I've been told it would probably do about 100 mile an hour.
100 miles an hour sounds incredible, but you've got to remember that Andrew's flat tanker is a Norton, and they weren't called unapproachable for nothing.
This is the precursor to the very successful things they had in the TT.
Sure.
They won races everywhere, all over this country and all over Europe.
Moving swiftly back down to the other end of the speedometer, one of the oldest bikes here is this Douglas flat tanker from 1911. Like Sam's Triumph, it has neither a clutch nor a gearbox.
In fact, it doesn't have very much of anything.
But it does have 2 cylinders
It has 2 cylinders.
that balance each other.
That's right.
So it's
yes,
very
yes.
smooth running.
And though it's not quite the weather to think about Mr. Whippies or Tip Tops, I was hugely impressed by Peter's BSA sidecar combo.
It's a genuine ice cream seller's outfit. Left Birmingham in 1926.
Yeah.
Goes to Berryman's down at Redruth. Then it had a box put on it and was selling ice cream down at Penzance in 1926 to all the holidaymakers that turned up.
That's incredible, really.
And it stayed all its life in Cornwall. 557cc, side valve of course. And brakes which do work, but you know,
Eventually.
I call them ABS brakes, you know, anticipate braking sometime. But that's what happens.
For a slightly feistier ride, Rogers brought a later model Douglas from 1921.
So it's a development of the bikes that were used in the trenches by dispatch riders. This was one of their favourite bikes.
I mean, you know, trying to get that going under fire, Sammy. How'd you fancy that, mate, in the mud and the trenches?
I managed to
brave boys.
You might be riding along, see, I've got a thing on a basket, but you might have had a box of pigeons on your back because they used, the dispatch riders carried pigeons to the front and then they could, you know, they tied little messages on the legs of the pigeons and they flew back, so that was another thing.
It's just the bravery of these people.
Amazing.
Never ceases to amaze
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Even rarer than the Douglas is Stewart's Wolf model. Like AJS, Wolf were based in Wolverhampton, but they were primarily bicycle manufacturers who only produced a limited number of motorbikes and relied on other brands for many of their components.
3-speed steering archer gearbox and clutch. So, you know, yeah, quite usable really.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
take it out on runs and stuff like
Well,
that?
I haven't been north of Exeter yet.
Oh, well, I wouldn't bother. Why would you want to do that, mate?
Yeah, we've been round the county a fair bit, like here and there. Yeah.
I love the
Yeah.
Gladstone bag on the
Well,
back.
full of tools and essentials, you might say.
And thinking about what you need to carry, Roger has brought along a second version of a World War I dispatch rider's bike, this one manufactured by Triumph again, with a little help from the enemy.
9 out of 10 magnetos on all British bikes were German. They had our tyres, we had their magnetos, and there's stories told of clandestine meetings in the middle of the night where German dispatch riders met a British dispatch riders, and the British gave them some tyres, and in turn they gave them the magnetos.
That's incredible. Can you imagine
Yeah.
that you're riding along at night and you meet a German dispatch rider coming the other way and you swap tyres and magnetos with him?
There's always a moment to have a deal in any situation, you know that, come on.
It's very true. And talking of deals, if you want to buy a flat tanker, how much will it set you back? What's the entry level? About £3,500?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, you can be on the road for £3,500.
So £3,500 buys you entry into this glorious world of flat tankers. You need to get off the sofa and go and buy one right now.